Hey everybody, today's lesson we're going to talk about combinations. So it's real similar to permutations, but remember, combination order does not matter. So order does not matter. Just trying to make it in. Okay, does not matter. So our formula is real similar, just a little different. Okay, but it's going to be n factorial over r factorial n minus r factorial. Okay, so we're gonna have two numbers on the bottom. One thing I want you guys to understand is these two numbers right here should always add up to be this top number. Okay, so for example, let's look at that. We're still gonna have a big number and a little number. So let's look at number one real fast. Okay, so number one, we got two guys planning a trip to see 3 countries, and then out of 6. So we have a big number, a little number. So my big number is 6. So we're doing 6 combinations of 3. And our 3 came from this guy right here. So 6 combinations of 3. So my formula tells me it's my big number on top. So 6 factorial divided by then my little number. And then my big minus my little. So 6 minus 3. So when I do that, I want it with 6 factorial over 3 factorial, 3 factorial. Now, one thing, if you guys remember, if you're using a school calculator, since I have more than one number on the bottom, I have to use parentheses. Or if you're using just whatever calculator you have, like in this case, I'm just going to do 6 factorial divided by 3 factorial, and that's going to give me 120. But I still need to, so let me do that again. So 6 factorial divided by 3 factorial is going to give me that 120. But I still have that second. Divide by 3 factorial. So I'm just going to do it twice. And I still get the same answer of 20. Okay? So let's pull this back up. So my answer for this one is 20. Okay? So you can do that math twice. Okay? All right, let's look at another one. Let's look at number 2. Okay, so number 2, we got a group of 16 people who are taking the elevator. They want to grow up in groups of 8. So same thing, I got a big number, 16, little number 8. Okay, so it's going to be 16 combinations of 8. So I'll put that top number on top, 16 factorial. My little number, factorial, that's 8 factorial right there. And then big minus little. Okay, so 16 factorial on top. Then on the bottom, that 8 factorial is still there, and then 16 minus 8 is just 8. Once again, 8 plus 8 is going to give me 16. These bottom two numbers, it's just coincidentally, they've both been the same number. Doesn't happen all the time that way, but in this case it does. But one thing you got to check for is these two, the two numbers on the bottom need to add up to be the top. Okay, so let's figure out what that is. Okay, so 16 factorial is this massive number divided by 8 factorial gives me that. But I still need to divide by another 8 factorial, and that gives me my answer of 12,870. Okay? So that gives me my answer of 12,870. So still a really big number for our answer, but combinations actually give you smaller answers than permutations, okay? All right, let's look at a weird question, this handshaking question, okay? So we're in a meeting with 70 students, and each person shakes a hand with somebody else, okay? So the big thing is when you do a handshake, there's 2 people involved. So my big number is 70, and then my little number is just 2, okay? So I'm going to do on top 70 factorial, and then on bottom it's going to be 2 factorial, so my little number, and then my big minus my little. So when I do that, it's going to be 70 factorial on top, and then 2 factorial, and then 68 factorial. Okay, so now let's see what that gives me. 70 factorial, can it handle it? Oh, it can. Okay, I was thinking 7 was going to be too big, so that's good. Divided by 2 factorial, still a massive number, and then I'm going to divide that by 68 factorial. It gives me a normal number of 2,415. Okay, so still a big answer, but not as big as the other answers. So 2,415. Okay, easy peasy. All right, let's look at this homework question. Carlos has homework in 4 different subjects. He only has time to do 2 of them. So big number 4, little number 2. So 4 combinations of 2. So big number goes on top. And then little number first. And then big minus little. So this is another one where we're going to get 2 numbers on the bottom that are the same. So don't freak out, but that's not how it always is, okay? So 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial, and then 2 factorial. So 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial, and then divide again by 2 factorial, and that's going to give me 6. So my answer on this one is just 6. Easy peasy. All right, so let's look at a bigger one. Let's look at number 7, okay? Okay, so one thing I want you guys to understand, let's actually take a look up here at number 5. So this is a batting order question, but the big thing is they're just picking the players to be in the batting order. They're not actually setting up the order. That's why the order doesn't matter. They're just picking who's actually playing, not necessarily the order that they're playing in. So that's what makes this one different than a permutation. The order of those 8 players doesn't matter because they're just the ones that are playing. They're not actually making the batting order. They're just picking the kids that will be on there. Okay, so this one is 11 combinations of 8. So 11 factorial, and then 8 factorial, and then 11 minus 8. So this one's going to be 11 factorial, and then 8 factorial, 3 factorial. So one thing I want you guys to understand, same thing. These 2 numbers on the bottom will always add up to be this number on the top, okay? So let's go over here. 11 factorial divided by 3 factorial, and then divided by 8 factorial is 165. Okay, so smaller answer here. Okay, easy peasy. All right, let's go down. Let's look at number 10. I'm going to zoom way in on number 10 so I have plenty of space to write. Okay, but on this question, we have 210 athletes, and they're doing the handshake. Okay, so 210 and 2. Okay, so 210 combinations of 2. So formula tells me big number on top, little number, and then big minus little. Okay. Now, when I do this, that's going to give me 210 factorial divided by 2 factorial, and then 198. Excuse me. Trying to do math in my head. So 210 factorial, 2 factorial, and then 208 factorial. Okay, now here's a problem. If I try to do 210 factorial, it's too big, get an error. Okay, so the nice thing is we know what this means. Okay, so this 210 factorial is actually 210 times 209 times 208 times 207, and then all the way down to 1. Well, then on the bottom, I have 2 factorial, but then let's look at this 208. That 208 is 208 times 207, all the way down to 1. So whenever the calculator can't handle the problem, what we can do is just solve it this way. And we know that everything that's 208 and below is going to cancel. So up at the top, I just have these 2 numbers. Then on the bottom, I just have my 2 factorial. So let's do that. I have 210 factorial, which was too big. So let's just do 210 times 209, which is still a big number, but it's can be handled by the calculator. So I'm going to take that and divide it by the 2 factorial that we had left on the bottom, and that's my answer, 21,945, which is still a big number, but it's something that we can handle. Okay. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But you guys should be able to knock these out. The big thing is every question in this assignment is just a combination. Okay. So you guys take your time and take care of this. I'll post another assignment on Wednesday, and then we should be good. If you guys have any questions, just shoot me an email. Thanks, guys.